All right. I'm recording this for those who won't be active tonight. Some persons reached out to me that they're having some kind of engagement and they won't be here. But it is fine. This lesson is just mostly about video editing, and it seems like most persons would think video editing is something that is so complicated and so big. If you can still hear me, just let me know. If you can't hear me, let me know. If you can hear me, let me know. If you can't hear me, also let me know. If you can hear me, let me know. If you can't hear me, also let me know. So we just get to go on.
I can hear you, sir.
All right, thank you. Thank you. That's good. Okay, we'll start like I said that we'll be having this going on. We're talking about the fundamentals of video editing. And in these fundamentals of video editing, we have introduction to video editing, principles of video editing, color theory and psychology of color, and the mindset of an editor. I had to break these things down in a way that we don't get to rush them all. We just have to take them a step at a time. And you might be expecting some kind of things to be taught today, but to tell you, everything will not be said out today. We'll take them slow and steady. We're not rushing anything. So that we get to understand the reason why some persons really dive into this editing industry, and the reason why some persons just see it as a playbook for them to find their way, or for content creators. That is actually what we're going to be talking about this evening. That is it. If you saw what I had to put out there about these things, just let me know, because I had to write it out. The fundamentals of video editing, introduction to video editing, the principles of video editing, psychology of color and color theory, then the mindset of an editor. We'll be diving into these things right away. First of all, I want to thank every one of you. Oh, sorry. Kingsley said he can't hear me. Who else can hear me, or who else can't hear me? Please let me know. If it
I'm
is from
hearing you
my
clearly, sir. I can hear you clearly, sir.
okay. So that's to say, let me write him. Let me just write him. Okay. So Kingsley, kindly log. Will I say log out, or would I say just leave the group, then join back again? Leave the group, join back again, so you can hear clearer. I think maybe that could be network or something. Leave the group and join back again. Thank you. So that's it. Kingsley, kindly leave the group and join back again. That could be network or something. Thank you. So we talking about this thing. First of all, I know most of us will just watch movies, and we think it is just something of play. And most of us who love Korean movies, most of us who don't even love watching movies. But I just want to tell you that everything you do, like everything you see, the video ads you watch, the talking head videos you watch, the movies you watch, all came from just one concept. And when video editing started, it was not just something that started as editing, it was just a simple one way clip that was just running, and people were enjoying and they loved everything. I wish I could share my screen, but due to some reasons, I couldn't do that. Maybe in subsequent time. And this is just an introductory class, and I won't be diving deep into so much things. Maybe in subsequent times, I would fix everything and share my screen with you so we get to see. I'll make it simple that you get to understand. When video editing started, that was around, okay, let's say in the 1970s, we had things that were black and white photos and black and white videos. And if you are still very conversant with Nigerian movies, you can remember that in the 90s, those that were born in early 90s or early 2000s, you would see that some of the movies you're watching from AIT, some of the movies you're watching from NTA, they were a kind of blur clips, and they were to some sort black and white that would just see them many times. You could hardly see their faces. But this is because of the kind of things they were using then for the editing, and it was just not affordable to Nigerians to some extent to afford a good editing software. But as time went on, we now have a good movie industry that is helping in Nigeria to push out content, which is Nollywood. We're not talking about films here. I'm just trying to bring this to limelight that the movie we're watching today is where every kind of editing started. Those who are doing ads today, it was just a knowledge they got from editing. Now, editing started as something that video editing rather started as something that it was only for fun. And the highest clip you could only get then when editing started was just 4 minutes or 8 minutes. But now we have videos running on YouTube. You could see a 48-hour video on YouTube running. People will just get to watch because of how technology have been enhanced and things changed. That editing didn't just focus on movies any longer. It has to focus on products and services, and people had to buy in. This is as a result of changes in innovations, and people saw that it is really helpful and it can really push out their businesses and help them in whatever thing they're doing to get customers. And we can see that today editing has helped in social media that we communicate with people. We want to sell out what we have, we want to make people know us because of the possibility that we can share these ideas we have just by the videos we create. But editing makes it simple that every video we create gets to hook people, it gets to tell a better story, it gets to resonate with people around us. And this is just why we see people, they follow people more who are putting out good content online. They follow people more who are making senses online. Not just you cut your clip and you're not working on them. No, there is more to editing, which is just beyond what we see. And many persons who do these behind the scene jobs, you might not really know that they are doing a lot until you get to put yourself into that shoe of them doing that work also yourself. That is why we're going to talk about these fundamentals of video editing. That is introduction to video editing. Now, if we talk about the introduction to video editing, we'll just get to know that it is not something that just started like we want it to be a playbook. No, everything has a definition, and video editing as it is, it also has a definition. But what we're going to take away from here is I want you to take note of this. We're going to be talking about in this introduction to video editing. We're going to be talking about linear video editing. We're going to talking about non-linear editing, common editing techniques, good editing softwares. We're not going to be talking about softwares here, rather we're going to be talking about applications since we're using smartphones. Though we're not going to go deep into these applications because there is a lesson, a class that we're holding for that separately. But we're just going to have a slight talk on that. Talking about video editing, you could see that businesses today are growing. You could buy from someone who is in Abuja, you could communicate with someone who is in Lagos, you could communicate with someone who is in Dubai, someone just keeps you up and active, and you get to lean in into what he's doing just because it is interesting, just because it got you and your attention right there. Going along, I want us to know that if you're a beginner looking to build video editing jobs, chances for you to feel overwhelmed are always there, but you should just know that what you need is the right information, and the right information sets you out there doing what you're supposed to do. Before we go into the definition of this law, to get the outline of this, I want us to understand that no one was born perfect. No one was born with this skill to become what he is today. We all learn and develop these things gradually, and it compounds and builds up everything we're doing. And we become whoever we become because we had to put in the effort we had to put in. Video editing is the process of organizing and enhancing multiple shots or clips to produce a new output. It is just gathering information. If you're gathering your gathering could be from your work, it could be from where you find the numerous out online. Get this clip, that's the information they are gathering. But for them to put it out, it is possible that they could just put this information out for people to just see and watch. Like we have few times ago, Gege University was trending. But we could see that Gege was always putting out videos. The videos Gege was putting out was pure content that he wanted to attract people who will really get to understand him and become his audience. And as times went by, Gege won the heart of Nigerians, especially the men. And he started the university. That was what putting out content would always help you. And this thing, he achieved it through video. Like I said, video editing is organizing and enhancing multiple shots or clips to produce a new output. But his videos were not an issue. If you look closely, if you have this out, those who are in the field will have a bare eye view. You capture every moment, you should know what's happening, you should know what's not right, you should know what is right. That is now you cutting clips and putting them together to gain the attention of your audience. Though it's according to what you want to do, but actually you have to have the good experience of that. You should know that video editing is a part of post-production process. Sorry, I'm taking us deep this far, but I want you to understand that in video editing we have the pre-production. Sorry, not in video editing. Before we get to put out any content out there, it is majorly used by filmmakers, movie producers. We have the pre-production, we have the production, and we have post-production. Now, pre-production, we are going to be talking about some of the things that happens in the pre-production stage. The things that happen in the pre-production stage, you have to scout your location, you have to do your storyboard, you have to do your screenwriting for those who do movies, and for those who does not work on movie, who do not move, they have to just things people don't really see you doing, but they're with try. Can anyone else hear me? Okay, thank you. Can anyone else hear me from here? I'll continue if I get responses. Okay, okay,
Hear you, sir. I can hear you, sir.
okay. Thank you. Should it be that I stopped talking, like maybe network glitched and you couldn't hear me longer? Just speak up and let me know, please. Thank you.
In the middle of the explanation, there was a glitch in network. Like there was a time your voice was breaking, but I think it's clearer now, very clear.
All right, all right. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Just let me know, like if there's a glitch, let me know because I might not really notice from my
All
end.
right, sir. Okay,
Thank you.
sir.
Am I being so fast or something?
Sir, please, what did you say?
Am I being so fast or something?
No, sir. I'm following you. It's okay.
Oh, okay, okay. Am I going too deep?
Not really, sir. It's fair enough.
Okay, thank you. All right. Ah. Okay, I will just walk around that. Okay, let's see this. I was talking about um the pre-production, production and post-production stages. Now, if you're a content creator who is not a movie producer or a movie director, you still have your pre-production stage, you still have your production stage, and you still have your post-production stage. Now, let's say you are someone who owns a store or a shop, or you are a coach and you just want to create content around that. Your production stage, sorry, your pre-production stage would be that moment where you are finding ideation, you are trying to find out what you want to tell your audience about, your writing, your scripting, you're not sleeping. You're just finding what you should put out. You're writing some kind of piece of stuff. You just get to find. You get a kind of idea and you just have to write it down somewhere. It is your pre-production stage. When you get to script it, how the video should be, how it should look, how you want everything, what you should speak and what you don't speak, you go into ChatGPT, finding all sort of things to come along. It is still your pre-production stage. Then your production stage is that moment when you get your tripod and you have to put up your camera and you're speaking to the camera directly. That is your production stage. That is for those who don't work in movies. But after that moment, you get to go into the post production. Now, the post production is you've produced it already. Now, the things you have to do behind the scene, that is now you are the editor. You've directed as a director, you've written your script, you've done your part. Let's say you're the producer at this moment. Now you are also the editor. Most persons pay editors money to do these things, but you're going to do it yourself. If you get to stay through this course and you just get the best out of it. I want you to understand that video editing typically is having processes that involves you being able to add or remove a clip. Now you get to watch a movie like, let's say, okay, let me not use movie for instance. You get to watch some kind of adverts and you see different scenes. Maybe they started with an orange showing up, and the next stage they are showing a vehicle, and the next stage they are showing people walking around in the market area or a building. These are different clips they joined together. But what happened there is that they had to remove some of the irrelevant parts in that clip and bring it to life. Or are you someone who really work on talking live videos? You talk to camera directly, you want to explain about something or a product. There are sometimes you'd have some words that are not to be there. Like you speaking and you say, so therefore, these things are really obstructive and you should not just use them in your video editing, but having the ability to edit makes you to understand that these things are not necessary and you take them out because you have the editing skill. Now, editing also has to do with arranging shots. Now, there are shots that comes first and there are shots that come second. According to how your script is being scripted, according to how you've done your storyboarding, according to how, oh, let's not use screenplay, according to how your script is being written, that is how you know the script. So the clip or the shot that comes first and the one that comes second. So what you just do is you arrange them accordingly. Video editing helps you to arrange shots. Video editing helps you to arrange shots. Sorry. Who else can't hear me?
Me too. I can't hear you.
You can't hear me also.
No, just for a few seconds. It's not long, sir.
All right. No problem. Let me just see if I can do something here. Okay, so in quest of you walking through your production stage, we'll just get to go through. Let's just remember where we are, the country we are inside. We'll walk through this together. After you've gone through your pre-production stage, you've gone through your production stage, now you are in your post-production stage. That is where the magic happens. Now we're not going to be talking about Though we're going to be having some kind of talks about this pre-production as we go along, and the post and the production, but we are majorly going to be basing on the post production. That is what you're going to be majorly basing on the post production. Now, talking about this post production, I told us that it has to do with you adding or removing your clips that are relevant, you add them up. Clips that are not relevant, you remove them. Not every clip is relevant in your edits. Not every clip is relevant in your edits. While doing that, you still get to arrange your shots. Arranging your shots means which one comes first, which one comes second. What did I say here that is supposed to come first? And what did I say here that is not supposed to come first? That is for that. And you also get to add your transitions. Transition is one thing that makes your videos look so cool, but in some cases there are invisible transitions that people don't get to see. Now, transition is you moving from one scene in a video to another. Moving from one scene in a video to another could be that someone entered a vehicle and you're seeing that person later inside a house, or someone walked into a store to pick up something and you're seeing that person already coming out with that product and talking about something else that is for ad videos, or someone who's working on a talking head video. You could use clips as b-rolls. We'll talk about b-rolls also, but let's just take b-rolls are those clips. Someone is talking about let's say what we have to talk about at this moment is a car. You're talking about a car. The car is the product you want to talk about, or you want to talk about how AI is improving different industries. So what you just do is you're still talking, but you see an a clip of an AI showing, or someone using AI to do, or that's called a B-roll. Now you talking is known as A roll. Let's just take note. The moment you're talking, that's the A roll in that video you're editing. The second one is the B-roll. The B-roll is now you want to talk about money, they are showing money. You want to talk about people buying in the market, they are showing people buying in the market. You get to understand the difference between A roll and B roll. You get to talk about someone who's going to the bank, they are showing a banker. So that is an arrow or a B-roll. So transitions helps you to move between arrows and B-rolls, or it helps you to move between the first clip and the second clip, or it even helps you to move between you talking. Once you're talking, there are some places you get to make some cuts, and the cut is just that what you said here is not relevant. You want to take it away, so you just have to cut. When you cut, you take it out. You have to add a transition to make it smooth that people don't notice. Now, transition makes it important that everything you do is not so hard. Being hard means when people are watching what you're doing, they are watching your video online. Moving into the next stage of the video, the next scene, it is not heavy in their eyes, it is just smooth. Now, when you jump into another scene in your video, when you've edited that, maybe you're talking about something and you just jump to that scene, it makes people to feel a kind of heftiness in their eyes, and they will just get to be Sir Chris. Okay, welcome, Sir Chris. Welcome, everyone else. If you're not hearing me, just let me know, please. Thank you. Now, when people jump into your video rather from one scene to another, maybe you're talking about, like I'm using as example, you're talking about a motor vehicle here, and you want to jump into a scene where the person is inside a supermarket. You don't just jump in. Once you jump in, the person's eye becomes heavy. Transition helps you to minimize the heftiness in people's eyes and their emotions. If you don't even use transitions in some places where they are required, it makes you lose emotion and attention of your audience, because what is supposed to pass that emotion there is not there, which is the transition. Though transition is not necessary in every clip or in every scene, but it is very important. And how you use that is also important. Please, if you're not hearing what I'm saying, still let me know. It is important we get these things and right in time. Going along, we talked about adding or removing clips. We talked about rearranging shots. We talked about adding transitions. If you don't understand these things, you have You have the time to ask questions when we are done for today. Now we're going into applying filters. Now, in video editing, we're talking about processes in video editing. We talked about, I'm going back again, we talked about adding or removing clips, we talked about rearranging shots, we talked about adding transitions, and we talked about, and now we're talking about applying filters. Most of us, when we get to watch videos, we get to see some glitch effects. Sometimes when we watch these funny clips, we get to see some fire burning out from nowhere. I'm not talking about visual effects. I'm talking about filters. Filter is just something. Let me use it in a way you get to understand. There is this guy on Facebook who we know as Another Matter. That's his username, Another Matter. But what you could know him for is Chioma. When he's talking about anything, he will just say Chioma. Like he's dealing mostly on music. That's where he specifies. But when he uses this filter, his face changes actually to something that it's funny for you to behold. It's funny for you to look onto his face. The filter you see on his face makes you to laugh. It makes you to get this kind of feeling that this guy is funny, and he sees it as, oh, sorry, Kingsley, you're not hearing me. Sorry, just network and glitch. Sorry. Can anyone else hear me? Can anyone else hear me,
I
please?
can hear you very clear.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you. Filters helps you to put the emotion you want on the faces of people who are watching you. But we might actually think that filters are just all about the ones we use on TikTok, having bright faces, having broad faces, having white faces, having different kind of aesthetics on the group we have on TikTok. But it is beyond that. Filters helps you to enhance your videos. It helps you to make your videos lively. Sometimes if you can't color, now in video editing there is something that is called color grading. So we're going to be talking about that along the line. Now what helps you get a good, sometimes when you're watching a video, you see how good that video looks, how beautiful everything looks. But actually when that video was being recorded, it wasn't so good like that. It wasn't so fine, like it was just something blur. But what helps you get a clean visual is the ability to color grade. Sometimes if you can't even color grade, you use filters as color grade when putting out your video, when editing. So it is one of the processes of video editing. One of the processes also of video editing is changing speed. Now, sometimes you could see some videos you come across, they are so fast, they are so fast that you cannot even imagine what is being said. Sometimes it is also made in a way that it is very slow. Let's say some videos we got to understand and know them as slow motion videos. It is the act of speed that makes that possible. And some persons use is so noisy. The background of the video is very noisy. But the moment that you use your editor, you always editing will help you. Just give me a little time, please. Let me check on this. Okay, thank you. I just had to check on something. Video editing helps you to have a clean audio. It is good that we have microphones. It is good that we have everything we have. It is good that we have good lighting. We're still going to be talking about lighting and all these things, but I just want to bring it to our understanding that one thing that helps you have a good video that attract people to listen to what you're saying is good audio. And for you to have a good audio, you have to have a good experience of video editing. That is you as the editor, how to work on your videos, the audio. You don't need the noise that comes in. When the noise comes in, you try the possible best you can to make sure that you clean up the noise that is in your video. Are we in line? We just get to know.
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. So going along, I want to take this thing in a way that I don't want to rush things with anybody here. I want us to understand that this class is not just about the video editing or you going straight into learning how to edit videos, putting everything. I want you to have basic knowledge of these things. There's one man I love so much. This man is George Méliès. George Méliès is one of the founding fathers of video. I'm not talking about video editing. He's one of the founding fathers of video. When George Méliès started his studio, he was acting, he was also directing. We're not really talking about movies, but I just want to bring something here. He was a magician. He started as a magician, and since he started as a magician, he's one of the best I love in the movie industry. Though he's not alive, but his memory still lives. He started as a magician with his lovely wife. The wife so beautiful. Along the line, he saw that the next oil, the next code in line isn't about being able to do magic, but being able to create videos. He moved into the movie industry and created so many videos. If you get to watch those videos, you just know, if you have eyes for videos, for movies, you understand that this is really a good movie. But people who don't really understand movies will not have interest. But you who is into movies, you understand what is being said because you won't like the color of the video, you won't like the transitions, you won't like anything about that video, but you will understand the storyline. And that is why we're also learning this. That we'll be talking about storytelling. That should be, we will be taking that in the third week of this class. That is third week of this class, but not next week, a week after this coming week. We're talking about storytelling, and that would be one of the best class we would have. So George Mellis understood that video was one of, not just was, is now the new magic. He had to switch in. He had to change into editing, and why he changed into editing, he got the necessary tools. He bought cameras, he got everything he needed for this, and he was directing. While he was directing, he also turned to be the editor, like he was the one putting out everything that is supposed to be done in the video he's putting in. And that is why I just want to bring our understanding to types of video editing. Types of video editing we have here, we have linear and non-linear video editing. If you get me right, let me just get it from you.
But I will doing practical.
You said
Yep. You say is it linear or what?
linear, Linear.
Okay, linear. Okay.
Yes. Just like we have linear equations, we have linear editing and non-linear editing. I wish I could share my screen this night. I would have shown you this thing, but I would do as much as I can to provide the resources. Like I would put them into this thing tomorrow, into the platform, so you could just have a glimpse of them.
But when are we starting practical? When are we starting practical?
You want to start practical just now?
Yes.
It is fine. You get to start practical, but practical is not coming today. No. And if I tell you we are starting practical today, maybe you might be so eager to just be involved today. But I want us to really understand this thing. That's why I say we're not going to rush. This thing would have just been a class we're taking for 3 days, 5 days, approximately 6 days, like other persons do. But I decided that we're going to take it in a month. That is, so we take our time to go through this. Hope you get me right.
Yes, but you know that anything without practical, it used to be a little bit boring.
And without practical, it is boring. That's fine. But you have to have a good knowledge of this thing. One thing that people really believe in is first mention. I don't know if you've come across something like that. If you want to study about medicine, you're going to talk about how medicine started. If you want to talk about electricity, you wouldn't do that by just jumping to practical without knowing how Michael Faraday came about this thing. If you want to talk about anything at all, so you have to understand the first mention, first things first. So we are not in haste, we are not in rush. We just get everything. I'm just believing that when we get into this practical, you would hop in and not give up along the way, because you have practicals, you do your videos, you send, you practice, fine, good. I'll be sharing my screen, everything. I'll give you access to the link for the resources and everything. So that's why I'm taking my time. That we're not in a rush, we're not in a hurry. We're just doing this together, everyone. And I believe we are good. Are we good?
Yes, sir, we are good. I am good. I don't know about others.
Oh, thank you, thank you. I really love how you spoke, because there was one certain time I came across something. I was told and I learned from a book that speak for yourself and not for others. And if you want to speak for yourself, you could possibly say, for myself, just like you said, for myself, I can do this, but I don't know about others. So if you're good, that's you speaking for yourself. I don't know about others. If they see want the practical, we should just start the practical right away. Or they want us to go through these processes to know what these things are all about. Remember, going into the practical without having good knowledge of these things will still have to affect the practical we're going to do, because we have to come back to these things. So just bear with me. Or should I say, let's show together. We are all learning. Let's do this. Okay, right. I'm going further. I was talking about linear and non-linear video editing. Linear video editing follows a predetermined sequence for adding or removing clips. Oh God, I will share this thing. I will share this thing. Now, talking about linear, we know that anything that is linear is straight, right? Anything that is linear is straight, like there is nothing holding it. Linear, let me take for example those of us who, I will use the oldies. Those of us who were born in 2002, those of us who were born in 2005, 2006, 1996, 97, 98, 99. Okay, from 95, let me say from 95 down to 2005. We would remember that there's something called a cassette during our childhood days. This cassette, you get to break it, and when you get to break it, there is this coil inside that you use to play around. It is used for recording songs. For music, that is a linear coil. It is straight way that any cut on that thing makes it that there is an interruption. That coil is not going to work. That music is not going to play as it is supposed to be. Coming also to videos, when you get to open a cassette, those who were born in those days, I'm using them, you still find coils inside these recorders, and these coils are the things that helps the movie to play along. If you are born still in the same time I'm talking about, you know that we have, for photographers, there's this film photographers use. What this film does, it captures the light and turns it into an image, into a clip, and it is, while it is capturing this light, we are having the videos we are recording, and at every instance. This is why you see that if a photographer, using that for an example, if a photographer cuts off a film, he could just make changes and add another one using different machines. But in today's world, we don't use linear tools anymore for editing videos. That is why we now have smartphone video editing. That's why we now have people who edit with their laptops. And people who edit with their laptops edit for brands, they work for bigger brands and the rest of them, as well as those who edit for smaller brands also. Those who work for smaller brands or individuals or for themselves, they don't use linear video editing tools. What they use is non-linear video editing tools, because you don't get to cut a film and attach a different one to make a scene or sequences. You have to just record straight from your phone, then edit directly from your laptop or edit directly from your phone. And while you're doing this edit, you don't have obstructions. You could just take clip from any folder where you've added these folders and still bring them into where you want to put them. You rearrange them, you cut, you add a clip or remove the clip, you add a filter or you don't need a filter, you change the speed. That is how linear editing and non-linear editing works. Linear editing is the old way of editing videos where you get to cut a film and attach another different film to that using your gum or something, or a cell tape, everything that just get to glue that film to the one that you had to cut off, and the movie continues, the video continues, your video ad continues. But then non-linear video editing is just as simple as we could. You could stay in your room, do everything, cut all you need to cut, and still get the best results, just as someone who was supposed to get same results in the days we were using linear video editing tools. So today, just like AI is improving the world, it is also improving in the video editing industry. That is why you don't have bigger machines you'd use in cutting these films and attaching them together, but you just get to use your system. If you have a system, you just get to use your phone, and these things are easy for you. You don't have the stress of cutting anything. As simple as that could be. Linear editing is a traditional means of editing videos and footages. We should get that. If you want to modify any edit, you have to start from scratch, which means for you to do any work on linear editing, like using those tools, in those days, in the 90s, in the 80s, you have to start from scratch. Everything, you have to set up everything. If you want to put this clip, you will film it. If you want to put another video clip, you film it. Anything you want to do, you have to film it into that film that you cut and attach another one. But now you don't need to film anything. After you've recorded, just copy into your phone and you're already along the line working on a video. That is how simple it is in our today's world, working with non-linear video editing tools, which is a means you don't have to worry about compromising your raw footage. You don't need to cut anything off. It just remains untouched and we are good. Are we still together? Are we together?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you so much. I really appreciate your response. It's fine. It's a good one. So I posted here that we're going to be talking about fundamentals of video editing. And we did introduction into video editing, where we talked about linear and non-linear video editing, where we talked about the processes involved in video editing. And I just want us to have a thought in the principles of video editing. Principles of video editing. And most persons would think those who edit videos don't make money. Those who make videos, they make money. It's just about what you're doing and how you're doing that. That is how you get your money. If you don't even want to make money from video editing, you save yourself money in a way that you don't pay someone to get a video done. You get it done yourself. So it is to your own benefit that you get to understand this thing and have a knowledge of it. Thank you very much. Now, talking about principles of video editing, we're going to understand that it is important we know that video editing helps us to engage with people and impact good content into the social media space, because today social media is just what everyone has to be part of. It is just few persons that are not part of the social media space today. And if not for me being on the social space, if not for you being on the social space, we wouldn't have been connecting like this. That is just the truth. Going down to the principles of video editing, still remember that it helps you engage with people and impart good content to them. If I get to go along this, you get to understand that video editing is a crucial aspect of filmmaking. Filmmaking. I'm saying filmmaking. If we should remember, I said video started from filmmaking. At the first instance, there was nothing like video ads. There was nothing like promotional videos. There was nothing like talking head videos. There was nothing like short form videos. What we just had was a video, like a raw clip that was not edited. Anyone who wanted to put out any content, then when there was no social media, you have to film just a long storyline of video and put it out. Possibly that then it was mostly funny videos that we had those days. But as times went on, we have this thing that we get to understand that things changed, and now we have video editing. If you don't want this thing, you take it out. That's why it is said that video editing is a crucial aspect of filmmaking, playing a pivotal role in shaping the narrative, aesthetic, and overall impact of videos. Now, your ability to edit videos will help you to understand how to control people's emotion. What you should know that you as an editor, I'm calling you an editor because you're not just focusing on movies, you're not just focusing, we have different persons here with different intentions on the kind of videos they want to do. As the editor, you have it in your hand to control people's emotion. You as an editor, you're playing with people's emotion. That's just true. But the fact is that if you don't know how to tell good stories, you can't play with people's emotions. You tell people what they should feel, you tell people what they should see, you tell people what they should hear. And if your storyline is so good, your video ad, the storyline is so good, your talking head video, the storyline is so good, that is your script is so good, you would control people's emotion. That is why you're talking about the principles of video editing. The first thing we're going to talk about here is continuity. Continuity. In the principles of video editing, it is important how something ended and how something started. It is very much important how something ended and how something started. For instance, what I'm talking about is a scene. I'm using this as an example again. What I'm talking about is when we started, I talked about someone shooting a video for a motor vehicle brand, and that was a shot taken outside. You're seeing another scene in that same clip. The person is now inside the store. What happened for that person to move from that outside to the inside is continuity. The continuity helps you to connect every scene. It helps you to connect the storyline. It helps you to keep it in a way that people don't get lost along the line. One of the core principles of video editing is continuity, which ensures visual consistency. Can you still hear me?
I can.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Visual consistency. Visual consistency is a way that If someone opens a door in your video ad, it should also continue with that the person is saying closing that very door in that video ad. If someone is drinking a cup of tea in your video ad, it should still be seen that that person is dropping that cup of tea in that video ad, or that person is standing up healthy in that video ad, or that person drank that cup of water in that video ad and fall sick. Everything should connect. That is just simple way to talk about continuity. Your camera angle is important. Your storyline is important. The way you're directing it is important. Your character, that is the person you're using for that shoot, everything. Or if you are the character for talking that video, it is important what you said few minutes ago should connect what you're going to say 5 minutes to come. That is continuity. There shouldn't be a breach. There shouldn't be a break. There shouldn't be a disconnection. There should be a connection every time. If you're someone who has a good budget for lighting, the light that is showing at this very place, maybe a talking head video, should continue in same way that there is no way that if a light is showing, some persons would always record videos and they don't lock their white balance. That is very bad. You must lock your white balance. If you're recording videos, check your settings and you find a way to lock these things. And your video looks very good. There shouldn't be in a way that your video here is showing white and this other place it is showing black, whereas you're not acting out or you're not playing out a horror scene. No. Just maintain consistency. That is continuity. Maintaining consistency. That is it. Another principle is rhythm and pacing. This helps you to captivate audience. Now we should understand that we talked about audios while we're talking about the processes of video editing. Now, rhythm and pacing should really work in a way that rhythm, this has to do with the sounds, the rhymes, everything. If there is a place that a video has to show a kind of emotion, a sound that depicts that emotion should be what you should use, not a sound that doesn't depict that emotion. That is why you see in some kind of video advert, you might be wondering why a sound is being used. It is just because of the kind of content they want to put out. That is why they are using that. You hear different kinds of sounds and different kind of sound effects coming up. Sometimes you're watching reels of these funny comedians in Nigeria and you're just thinking, why these sounds? But it is for a purpose. You see children laughing or you see people shouting some kind of funny comments while the video is still going on. It is just the rhyme they are trying to follow. They are trying to follow the rhyme. And sometimes you see, for instance, you're seeing in a movie, let's take a movie, and you just hear a sound like bam, 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 something like that. And you see why this sound is going on. Someone is already bringing out, let's say, for instance, the person wants to kill someone. I'm not saying the person is killing, wants to kill, possibly. That's the storyline. Once that person wants to bring out that gun, it rhymes in accordance with the sound. The way it is, the hand is being raised, the way the gun is being cocked, everything, it goes in line with that sound. The way it is being zoomed in. Sometimes you hear some kind of blast that starts like the emotion is rising and they end with a beat. Once they end with that beat, that there's always a blast at the end of that beat. And at the end of that beat, there is a clip that rhymes with that. It's either they are stoning someone to the wall, or it is either they are breaking something or anything related to that, or they are breaking the door. That is what rhyming and pacing is all about. Every sound should rhyme with your clip. And there's something that I should let you know, that there's always something known as called cut in action. This cut in action is a way that every cut you make in a clip should align with a sound that is in that clip. Maybe from this evening you might go back to watching your reels on Facebook, you might go back to people you like watching on YouTube, and you pay attention to the sounds. You pay attention to the rhymes and pacing, how they do everything, how they raise the cup in a movie, not just in a movie, in a video ad, how they place the Maggie cube, how they place the cup, how they sat on the chair. You're observing everything. These are the things you observe when you know the principles of video editing. We have something that is called short composition. Now, this short composition is an act that involves form of arranging elements within the frame to create visually pleasing and balanced shots. This short composition, let me see if I can find something. I'll just share that one here. Short composition, you need to understand how to balance your clip. You need to understand how to place your clip in the middle of your editor, that you capture every good moment you need to capture. Let me just send this thing across if I can find it. If I can find it, I'll just send it across. So understand what I mean by this one I'm talking about. Just give me some minutes and I will share this thing with you. And I will share this thing with you so you get to understand what I'm talking about. Because if you don't know these principles of video editing, you might be editing randomly and you wouldn't even know you're editing randomly. But if you get to understand these principles of video editing, you wouldn't be editing randomly. That is it. So that is what I want us to understand. It would have been possible that I just start in a way that we start with practicals, but that's not good. Me starting with practical and we don't get. Okay, here. Let me just share this with us. Are we still here?
I'm still here.
Okay, no problem. Thank you for staying around. Others who are not here would get to listen, but it's fine. Let me share this with us. Let me share this with us. Can you see my screen, please? Can you see my screen, please?
Yes, I can see it.
Okay, thank you, thank you. Just look at this. I hope you can see what I'm sharing with you here.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, if you really look at what I'm showing you now, the first one, which is here, this first one, which is here. Oh, sorry. The first one, which is here. I don't know how if I could just point it out. But let's go on.
The one that has purple.
Okay, yes, thank you. That's very well. You see that the purple is located in the middle of the clip, like in the middle of the box there. Now this is what we're talking about. I'm talking about short composition. It is in the middle of the clip that it is located. Now, if you're editing a video, you should also observe the middle of your clip, of your screen while editing. If you look at the next one that looks like a passage, you would see that everything there is balanced. Now it is located centered in the middle of the clip. If you look at the third one where we have people like soldiers shooting at something, this very one, you would see that it is located in the middle of the clip. Now, if you also look at each of these things, are we going to talk about this one, this very one? You see that it is located in the middle of the clip. I'm going to stop sharing my screen now. Sorry. Thank you. My screen don't want to stop sharing. Okay, thank you, thank you. I just wanted to show us that. Now, what you get to see that short composition is the act that involves arranging elements within the frame to create visually pleasing and balanced shots, applying techniques such as the rules of third, leading lines, depths. Okay, let me share my screen again. I'll share my screen on this one. We talked about something like the rule of third. Let me open up my record, my Eh,
Yeah, you said the rule of what?
The rule of third. I want to explain that one so we'll just get to understand it better. I'll share my screen again this time. Okay, so here we go. Here we go. What's happening in my phone? Oh, my phone dies. It's taking time. Mm, okay, I'll share my screen. God. I want to share my screen, please. It's giving me the time. But it's fine. Just hold on. Let me get back to this. Okay, whichever way, we're still going to go through. Okay, so this is what I'm talking about. Just that my phone don't want to share the screen. No, why it doesn't want to share this screen. I don't know. But it's fine. It's fine. Okay, so I wanted to show us this rule of third, but it's not showing up here. I don't like it not showing up. Okay, so let me just do this. Can you see my screen, please? Sorry, it's taking time and the rest of that.
It's not clear enough. Like the system is not. I'm just seeing the system.
Okay. I wanted this to to show. Okay? I wouldn't be using this one. Let me use this one rather. I wanted to explain the rule of third. Let me use this one in order not to take much time. Let me use this one. Okay. Stop that. Now, in the rule of third, talking about composition. Now, the rule of third is if you're editing your video, possibly, I wanted to use my recording app to show us that if you're recording your video, you should observe that there are always three lines. Now, if you check this one, there is a line that like a rectangle. At the top, we have the first rectangle, and in the middle of the rectangle, we have a crossing line. And towards the downside, where the leg of these people is showing, there's also a crossing line there. That is the rule of third. You have to divide your screen into three different angles. I wish that one would have helped, but it's not helping out. What happens is that one will help. Hello.
So I don't understand this one.
This rule of third.
Yes, I'm not getting the explanation.
As this thing is not showing here. This thing is not showing here. Why this is my phone is it's not keeping to the five it should be. What is happening? Okay, thanks to God. Okay, just give me this time again. Let's see if this will work. Let's talk about this one. Filmico. Filmico. Can you see my screen, please? Um, don't worry, I will explain that. I'll just explain that. Like, I want to show out something here. Can you see my screen at the moment?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I want to show us something directly. If I get to go to my preset task device, task device, interface. Okay, yeah. So, let, now let me share my screen. Now, what I have here, if you can see my screen, right, there is this line drawing that is drawn on the screen here, and I have two lines running from the top to the down. I also have two lines running from the left to the right, if you can see that. Okay, if you can see that, that is
Is
to
it
say,
the line there? Triangle
not the one
and
that
a
has
linear
the
and a
one that
linear line.
the one that looks the vertical and the horizontal lines, two at the top, two running across the screen.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Now, what this is, I'll just use something to illustrate. You can see my hand on the screen, right? Like blocking up something.
Yes.
Okay. Now, if the line is divided into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 9, 10. No, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9. 9 equal. Each of this line.
So I can't hear you anymore.
Network was my neck. Now, each of those that I showed you helps you to place your video while editing in a place that you don't make mistakes while editing. It helps you, like it is your guideline. That is what it means to talk about short composition. It helps you not to place your videos on the wrong angle in your screen while editing. Sorry, out of time. And going for that, if you get to understand this short composition, that is how to use those guidelines. It helps you to arrange your elements, which is your text, your video, your visuals, everything that you need to add into the frame while editing in a balanced way. If you see a video that is well balanced, we're going to be talking about that composition along the line where you need to balance your screen, you need to balance your object, the foreground, and everything. It helps you to have a good and appealing screen that is not clustered with objects. That is what short composition helps you to do. And something else we're talking about is emphasis on focal points. That is you guiding the audience attention, what they should look at and what they shouldn't look at. Well, time is not on our side anymore. I think we've really exhausted so much time on this. But if it is worth it, then it is worth it. I'll just move over to this one so I don't get to take your time the more. I want us to understand something. I'll just make this one brief. Now, talking about the principles of video editing, we talked about knowing continuity. Continuity is there. We also talked about reading and pacing. We talked about short composition, and there is more we should have talked about, which is like storytelling, transitions, audio synchronization. But we'll come to that while taking this lesson. Visual effect enhancements. We'll talk about them in other classes while we continue. Though these ones will not be in the practical aspects, we're going to talk about them. Let's just rush to the other one. We have psychology of color. We have color theory. Now, one thing that makes it important in the video you're editing is the colors you're using. If you watch well, those who edit good videos, Alex Mozi and rest of them, Steve, all these guys who get good YouTube videos, you see them that they understand what color is. And color is one thing that makes people understand your video very well. You shouldn't use a good color background and your character is using.
I can't hear you, sir. The network is bad.
Oh God, sorry, I was thrown off by the network. Sorry, there was a glitch at my end. I tried coming back in. Let's just do and wrap this up. Let's talk about this psychology of color without taking much of our time here. To have taken much of the time. Sorry, it happened, but if it is what it is what it. You must understand the primary colors. You must understand your secondary colors. You must understand that color is not what you play with while making your videos. Color is one thing that plays a crucial role in video editing. The videos you watch, most of you are well acquainted with Aproko Doctor. No matter how good he tends to be, he does not joke with color. He understands the importance of color in whatever thing you're doing. You shouldn't be using a white background and you're wearing a white clothes. No. You shouldn't be using a pink background and you're wearing a pink clothes. No. You shouldn't be using a blue background and you're wearing a blue clothes. No. Your color should reflect what your audience should see. And in that aspect, you should understand how to mix colors, the primary colors, the secondary colors, the tertiary colors, and the other kinds of colors we have. And that is to say that you should understand that red brings the importance, the representation of the color red. We should know that red, when you're talking about something that has to do with anger, you use red. Something that has to do with danger, you use red. Warmth, red. Something that has to do with passion, red. Red can increase heart rate and raise blood pressure and be overwhelmed if used too much. Like it makes someone to go into emotion that might cause him a big harm if used too much. Talking about orange is for bright, fun, friendly, and playful emotion. Commands attention without being overpowering. That it is mild to the eyes. Talking about yellow is positive, optimistic, energetic, good for point of sale, messaging, and calls to action. That is for yellow. Green is for growth, rebirth, nature, stability, endurance, and balance. It has a balancing or harmonizing effect and if often used in and is often used in relation to wealth. Talking about the background shouldn't be interfering with the object you have. Sorry if your network is disturbing. So sorry. Your background shouldn't be interfering with the color you're using. No, you should be consistent with color. How you use color, it is important in your videos. How you use color, it is important in your videos. I'm just trying to take these things so we don't really get overwhelmed with them. We have spent so much time on this, but I think we will be concluding this, rounding up everything. And to wrap everything up, know that you are an editor. I had to heave on this one because I know how important it is. You are an editor. Have the mindset of you being in charge of what you are doing. Have the mindset of you. Now I'm talking about the mindset of an editor. Have the mindset of you knowing that your audience, you are in control of their feeling. The movies you watch, the person who edited that video is responsible for every bit of feeling you have, every kind of emotion that is being raised. You're crying in a movie, someone is being taken to police station, someone is being given allegation, you're watching a video ad, a mosquito is being killed, you're happy. It is because of the person who edited that video. The storyline that was written is good. The the capturing, the video in the recording is good, but the person who polished everything is the editor. How you talk on your screen is important, but how you edit it is more important because you can still cut off everything that is not necessary in your video that you want to put out. So having the mindset of an editor, you should know that you are in control, you are in charge. You are the person who tells your audience what they feel. You are the person who tells them what they see. You are the person who tells them what they should feel. You're the person who tells them what they should see. You're even the person who builds anticipation in them. And that is why we're going to talk about storytelling, because for you to have the mind of an editor, the mindset of an editor, you must understand storytelling. And this is just you to know that having the mind of an editor means possessing a specific set of skills, perspectives, and qualities focused on refining and improving content. This involves several aspects. These several aspects means you must pay attention to detail. You as an editor, you must pay attention to detail. Every movie you watch, pay attention to the detail. Every video ad you watch, pay attention to detail. Every talking head video you watch, pay attention to every typographical video you watch, explainer video you watch, pay attention to detail. Understanding the big picture. This means in your eyes, in your mindset, summarize everything, what it is all about, what is being argued, what the video is talking about, the importance, even before it comes to an end. Try to analyze the video yourself. Identify weaknesses. You're watching a video and other persons are not even seeing that there is a weakness in that video. You yourself try to analyze and find out what is the weakness in that video, what is off in that video. Understand it. You should also have a good clarity and communication skill. The primary goal of an editor who has a video editor's mindset is to make the message clear. That is why you have to cut everything that is not necessary in your video. That is why you have to make it as important as you can, that your video passes out an information that is supposed to be passed out. Now, those things you can't put in a write-up in your Facebook post, convert them into a video and take out everything that is not necessary, and you see people coming in for you. Having a video editor's mindset, you must have empathy and audience awareness. Understand what your audience wants, know what they want, have a good reader experience, anticipating potential misunderstanding and points of confusion and addressing them proactively. Sorry. You should be able to put your audience in a box and also be able to bring them out from that box. That is you having a reader experience. Tone and voice. Maintaining a consistent and appropriate tone throughout the piece and preserving the original authors. Now, if the script writer has written something, you should act according to that. That is, as you're editing, put everything he said. If you are the script writer, make sure you capture every moment while you are editing. Don't edit with emotion at some point. Also edit with emotion at some point. And to wrap everything up, you must understand your timeline. Timeline is when you open your video application, CapCut, InShot, KineMaster. You should understand the timeline, everything that is there. If you don't know your app, then you're not an editor. Know your app and you should also know your skill. With this, I'm coming to wrap up this tonight. We have taken so much time, and I apologize that many of you, we are not supposed to stay up to this. Not even many of you, everyone, we're not supposed to stay up to this time. We had network glitch, we had problems. I was thrown out because of network, but I still came back, and you're still here. It is just something that we should understand that learning is something that doesn't happen just in one day. It compounds and we get results not just in one day, but in times. And to this, I'll tell you that we've come to the end of the class this evening. We've talked about fundamentals of video editing, introduction to video editing, principles of video editing, psychology of colors, and theory of color, the mindset of an editor. We have talked about this thing. If it turns out to be that maybe there are some places you need questions and you need to resolve some certain things, you can still reach out to me and we'll just go through them together because we're here learning. I'm not just the one teaching. I can still learn from you as well. With the kind of questions you ask, I will give you answers that you would love to hear, even beyond that, because it is in my place to make sure that we get the right things out of this class and not just to do things randomly. Thank you everyone who has made up time to be here and those who still make up time to be here. It is my pleasure to do this with you, and I believe we're going to do more. And I call it a wrap up for tonight. Not a wrap up, sorry. A wrap up for tonight. Thank you very much. If you have questions or anything, you can ask. Thank you, Rita, for staying through the time. Thank you, Miss Sama Samuel, for staying through the time. Thank you, everyone who stayed up to this time. And to those who will be listening to this, thank you as well. I hope you find good time going through this. It is what it. Thank you very much.